People, greetings and salutations. It is I, the man known as Old Man Logan, here in the building with my brothers from another doing this thing called Hot Take Wrestling. So, with that being said, let me go ahead and get the intros out of the way. KG, hold on one second. I got you, big fella.
It's the ginger whiskey assassin, the other KG. Hashtag y'all gotta chill.
KG, talk to him.
I'm just going to say that Ricochet is playing his role well. I thought the most annoying light-skinned Trevor I would ever see was on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Hillary Banks.
Will you marry?
Splat.
Splat, baby. All right.
I know that shit on Buzzy Jump, but I almost think people smashed into the floor like that.
I don't think he's supposed to be smashed to the ground like
that.
Let me go ahead and get my intro out of the way. Hold on 1 minute. Hold on a momento.
It's Big Oos, Old Man Logan, acknowledging.
All right, I'm gonna just simply hit y'all with the old school Hunter Hearst Helmsley. All right. And y'all know what time it is. The man in the middle, pause. The man of steel. The man of medium.
Another pause.
Wow. That's even worse. just press my music, bro. Press my video.
And now, your wise man, no chill with Phil. Hashtag MM99.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Phil Myers Sr., a.k.a. Can't Knock It, the great one, No Chill with Phil, the voice of violence, Eminem, the minister of madness and mayhem, the practicing polygamist, the two-time child support slayer of the greatest state of Illinois, Captain Medium Meat. Because if it ain't medium, it ain't my meat. As always, I'm joined with my special co-host,
what up? It is your boy Phil Myers Jr. and pause, the child support recipient, the real Black Panther. I am the op stopper. We do stuff Christian, and you know how it is. And yes, the little baby crusader, aka you can't teach that, is not here.
Yeah,
Maybe next time.
Yeah, he got in trouble. What a time to be a professional wrestling fan. WWE is on fire, y'all.
Yes, Lord.
I am loving the way I don't want to just jump right in it because I know KG got to do his thing, but let's get to it.
Yes, sir. We are definitely getting ready to give our weekly recap to the people. So let me go ahead and cue that up for you 1 second, KG. Uno momento. We got a lot to talk about tonight, but yes, sir. Let's start there. Weekly recap.
And now your week in review.
I know these wrestling extras got to get tired, man. Every week. These pull-apart brawls. They are hysterical. They are advanced to the storyline to a degree. But at some point, they got to be like, all right, man. They got to be running low on hands, breaking up these fights. With that being said, we saw this on IG a while ago. Triple Threat is official. Punk versus Rollins versus Reigns at WrestleMania. I'm not mad at them going that route because as somebody who is a CM Punk stan, not as much as I used to be, I think it was always about him getting that main event spot. Wasn't necessarily have to be for a championship. I think it was just closing the show, And I could definitely see that triple threat closing night one, unless somebody else with their feud picks up a lot of steam. Because like I said, I think, had no offense to EO, but personally, I think that they kept with Bianca, which they still could, because we'll get into that in a little bit. They announced that the women's championship match on Monday Night Raw would determine who faces Bianca Belair at WrestleMania. Because I personally thought that was enough star power with Bianca and Rhea could have closed night one, just to a change of pace. Where it's one of the two of the biggest stars in the last 5 years, like I said, in the company's history, or not company, just the last 5 years. So I say, it's looking like they're going to advance Jimmy Uso to get in the push. He slapped the hell out of Gunther on Monday. That was hilarious. When they was just backstage, told him don't slip like his brother. And that was a legit slap.
Hey, that shit was funny as hell, man.
Legit.
That was funny.
That was phenomenal. EO's gonna keep getting pie face for some reason. I don't know what that's about. I mean, I don't know.
Why they keep muffing her, bro?
I have no idea. Jim been muffed more times than I had seen people like in high school, honestly, because that was a thing we would see it occasionally, but like this is a weekly occurrence. But like, she's so much smaller than both of them too, which makes it even funnier.
Like they keep muffing the shit out of her.
Yeah, they are.
Like the absolute shit out of her.
And they were doing that like before she even won the match against Rhea on that what was that, Monday Night Raw?
Yeah.
And it was just kind of like, look at me, and she's like the little sister trying to get it, trying to fight the big sisters, and it's like, all right, like I like EO, but it's like, come on, bro, like y'all sandwiched her in here for what reason? I don't know. Pause on the sandwich. I mean, it's three guys.
No, you talking about two chicks. You talking about two chicks.
Like, yeah,
we're
talking about a couple. Yeah. So it's just that the pause was just in case. But it's just kind of like, all right, did we need a triple threat here, or like KG said, we could have totally. And I know a lot of us. I know us here for sure. We were cool with it being Rhea versus Bianca because we hadn't seen it in so long. So, but I think it'll still turn out pretty great. Like for me. Them putting her in there, they better close. They better close night one.
Well, I don't.
No, they're not.
I think Punk Reigns and Rollins closing night one. Like I said, I think it was so random interjecting her. Now it's like, to me, it lost its steam. It's similar to the Charlotte being injected into Becky and Ronda, except for that had a lot more momentum going because that match got canceled at Survivor Series in 2018 when Becky. When Nia botched and broke Becky's nose or whatever.
Yeah.
So, and then they had an ongoing thing on, but it's just from a standpoint, like I said, because if not now, when? This is the first time I've seen the men or the women where they, outside of that Becky and Ronda thing, where they just inserted somebody into a feud, and the two people that were already about to be in that singles match, they were penciled in, at least it looked like going in, where it was a dream matchup and they just didn't pull the trigger. And like I said, I don't know, because I remember years ago, what was it, 2017, they said we were wondering why we were getting Roman and Cena for the first time in No Mercy, and their reasoning was, hey, we don't know when we gonna be able to do this again, type thing, where they knew Cena was kind of on his way out. I'm not saying Bianca's on her way out and any stretch of that imagination, but I'm just saying, well, you still had a good John Cena then, is what I'm saying. So it's like, why not, when they both are arguably in their primes right now, why not do this? This is the first time I think in wrestling history I've seen something like that happen, where you just inject somebody. It's like give equivalence of just injecting a random person to Kenny Omega and Kazuchika Okada when they're in New Japan, for example. Because a lot of people understand that, obviously. But with that being said, too, I was wondering where they were going to go. I'm glad they finally started to hint the seeds of the New Day, because I was definitely wondering what they're going to do with the Raw Tag Team Championships. They had really not alluded to anything about that. So at least they haven't forgotten about that. It still kind of is on the back burner. We discussed that numerous times about why they just need one set of tag team championships. Definitely happy for the Profits, because we have not recorded since they had won the tag championships for the first time in 4 years. More serious, they changed the theme up. I don't know if they needed that, but I guess they want them to be a little bit more serious, where they tote that line between being, not the clean cut baby faces, but the just the edgier baby faces, even so. So I thought that was actually good for them because, we thought they were going to split at some point. A lot of people did, similar to New Day.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if that was, I was a little thrown off by it at the same time that they didn't split them up only because they kept the titles out there for so long. But maybe it's just those long-term storytelling. It's just like, I guess reward the guys that are not. What do you say? I mean, because they've hinted at frustrations at times, but I don't think it got to the extreme of some other talents with the frustrations they got on social media. So,
Right.
and like I said too, the Intercontinental Championship, I'm interested to see what they do with that. Penta being inserted into that championship picture. Probably gonna get 2 multi-man matches as we predicted already for the IC title and the US Championship because I think it's just too many talents that are over to the point where you can't keep them away from championship picture going to WrestleMania. El Grande Americano, is that what he called himself? I thought I don't know where they're going with this. Which is going to be insane if they actually put a championship on Chad Gable with this gimmick.
What was his name? Grande Americana?
Yeah, Grande Americano. It sounds like a Starbucks. I'm surprised they ain't got sued yet. They might have to change that. I'm pretty sure some coffee chain has that trademark somehow. But is there anything y'all wanted to get into? Because one last thing I was going to get into, because like I said, we didn't record last week. 2 powerhouses, they had a pretty damn good match. Megan Bayne and Chris Statlander, another one, should I say. So they're pushing Megan Bayne. It doesn't look like they're pushing her too soon. She reminds me, because I didn't really catch her in other promotions. I know she has worked overseas in Japan and other promotions, but she kind of reminds me of kind of like Raquel Gonzalez in NXT, because she hasn't really got her chance to sign on the main roster, in my opinion. Because I thought she had a pretty dominant run as champion in NXT. And for some reason on the main roster, whether it be injuries or this time-wise, she hasn't really gotten that push. But and then finally, hopefully, Swerve the throne Smox, because this Death Rider ain't adding up. Make it make sense to me, man.
Did you?
Can I ask? Go ahead. Well, I think you was go ask what I asked.
I was this was in relation to Swerve. I heard Swerve on social media said after this contract is up with AEW, he's leaving wrestling. Like, do you think this is believable, or do you think he's like, capping, like I got this cap on? Like, do you? Because I'm like, right now he's having a hell of a run. I mean, he got the push he wanted in AEW. He's a primetime player there.
Yeah.
No pun intended. And to be honest, I think it would be a disservice to both himself as well as his fan base if he did truly end the career. I mean, I know people be on the indies forever. You know what I'm saying? Things take a toll on your body. You want to take some time to rest. I get that completely. But to just straight up leave and just do other stuff, like, what do y'all think about that? Do y'all think Swerve is possibly being serious about that, or is this probably just a piece in the storyline just to kind of make things interesting?
I think he's serious. I wouldn't necessarily say it's a bad thing either. Not hating on him. Long gone are the days where the Dusty Rhodes where they were phenomenal performers, phenomenal athletes, but they're still wrestling where within their 60s, 70s with nothing to show for. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Long gone are those days. To be able to, I know we're talking about Swerve, but even with Cena, to be able to retire in good health, good shape, you know what I'm saying? To go out on your terms where you can make a living and have a living comfortably with retirement, I think that's a good look. When you look at a lot of them, not even trying to be funny, not trying to dog nobody, when you look at the Hacksaw Jim Duggins, the Dusty Rhodes, the Pipers, a lot of those cats retired but was broke. You know what I'm saying? Look at Flair. A lot of these cats still try to do what they can and make it and do all this other stuff to make ends meet. You know what I'm saying? Would Swerve retiring early when his contract is up, give or take however many years? It's a good look, man. It's a good look.
I mean, I
KG,
know I probably come from the point of a fan with that, just saying, okay, you look at a guy like AJ Styles, right, who's approaching 50, still able to go at a high clip as far as in-ring ability. And, I'll be honest, I would really like to see Swerve get to the top of the mountain in WWE, or at least, or hell, even TNA maybe, just to be able to say, hey, I've conquered, more than just one, you know what I'm saying, wrestling company. I've been able to get to the mountaintop twice or three times, if you will. You know what I mean? So I mean, the difference between the guys you mentioned, like they had to do the job until they were like in their 50s and 60s and beyond. Like you said, Ric Flair's still out here talking about he got one match left in him, and it's because they weren't getting paid the way the guys that are wrestling today
getting paid
get
now, yeah.
paid. You know what I'm saying? So it's great that he has options. I know he wants to do music, and he may do like everybody else, may grab a podcast, may do TV or film or whatever. But I would like to see him at least in WWE, because I think Triple H would have pushed Swerve much like how he's gotten pushed in AEW. I don't think it would have been as fast, but I still think he would have eventually got to the to that main event spot in WWE had he not got released by the old regime.
I don't know. I don't know about that one.
Really?
I don't know about that one. Sometimes, man, sometimes you gotta jump out the frying pan into the fire to see what you got. Swerve built that on his own. His reputation, everything that he got going right now, he did that on his own.
Mm-hmm.
But I got a question. I'm changing topics real quick. I don't know if y'all want to say this for the heated round table. I got a question.
Let's hear it.
Did y'all see the spot with Moxley and Cope with the spiked bat board, whatever that was? Did y'all see that?
Yeah.
What did y'all think of that?
I didn't care for it. I thought it was unnecessary.
If I'm being honest, I was like, okay, this is gonna probably end up being a prop in the next AEW video game. But when it actually got stuck in Moxley's back, I was like, oh shit. Like you can see the nails were like kind of rounded off, so they wouldn't stick per se, but there's no way for you to land, from a suplex on something like that and something not pure skin. Like it's just not gonna happen. I don't care how much you try to round it off and make it safe.
What'd you think, Casey? I know you said it was unnecessary, but
it was. I mean, like, what purpose did it serve? Like, I mean, it was something new, I suppose, but it's almost like it's almost like even though we were debating with y'all about the Swerve and Hangman, it's like the syringe. Like I know this technically supposed to there was a point in that, but they didn't even execute that right. And then two, I mean, you go through all that for what? Because that's even worse than syringe. They could have, there's ways around that. What if something had punctured something seriously in that man's back?
And that's the back too. Like I could see it. Maybe you body slammed him, and
right?
He falls this way. I mean, you can still puncture something serious here.
I'm not taking that risk.
The vertebrae, yeah, you can't play with the vertebrae like that. Like that's why Big E on the shelf right now. Like different type of circumstance, but that neck, that spinal, yeah, like that's a different thing to play with. Like
I don't think stuff like that belongs in, because we want to give that. We know it's all choreographed, it's all predetermined. We want that realness feel to it But at the same time, is there even a safe spot to do that? Because I remember years ago, Amari Stoudemire punched something. And they said he was close to damaging and like permanently amputating one of his hands because when he hit the glass. I don't know if a part of your body, if that's safe to be putting something in that could potentially puncture something. Like, I don't know what part of your body is safe to do that spot.
Yeah.
I just thought, that's why I said I don't think it belongs there. Because if something went wrong.
What spot is worse? The syringe or this spiked bat?
I think
concoction?
the spike bat thing, because the syringe probably wouldn't. I'm pretty sure there was no actual medication in the syringe.
This is an MDS syringe.
Right, exactly. That was just it. Even though it looked dumb, at least I'm pretty sure they didn't put no actual.
This is an MDS Ozempic pen. So look.
No, actually, like numbing solution or anything like that. Or something like right.
Some Novocaine or something.
Right.
I like my wrestling violent. I like my wrestling entertaining. I like a great story. I love when things make sense. Even when you look at ECW and you look at some of those were some violent, gory matches. Nick Gage. Love Nick Gage. Amazing wrestler, brawler, fighter. Abso-fucking-lutely, right? This stuff makes sense. When they have those matches and that type of stuff, and we seen the one match with Nick Gage where, what was that? He severed an artery in his arm. He got cut, and they said like he died for 3 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that type of stuff is entertaining. It's pretty damn dope. But it has to make sense as to why we're doing what we're doing. Yeah, ECW, Extreme Championship Wrestling. Yep, they went for it. Name was in the game. Extreme. They went to the extreme with shit.
Right.
Rob Van Dam, Sabu, Sandman, Tommy Dreamer. You look at all those cats. It was hardcore. That's what they set the stage to do. That's what they set out to do. They did it. Long gone are those days. Yeah, we see the chair shot. Yeah, we see the table spot. Yes, we see all these different shots and spots with professional wrestling, regardless of what promotion you look at it in. That spot with that spike bat to me was so fucking unnecessary. It was so unnecessary just to be unnecessary. Ooh, let's do something crazy and see what happens. Yeah. Okay. Like, you mentioned about the nails were curved. The nails got curved after the spot, after the suplex. Because if you look, he hit him before. Everything was straight. All those nails were straight. Dumbass, you could have paralyzed yourself.
That's what I was saying. And it's fine. That's why I think Logan. Like, that's what I was trying to get at. Like,
when you think about the vertebrae, to your point, KG, when you think about the vertebrae and how sensitive that area is, the lumbar, you know what I'm saying? Bro, think about this, y'all. Think about this. If you sit and or sleep the wrong way for too long, your vertebrae is out of line and you like that and you sore for like however many days. You willingly took a bump on a spiked bat for what? And the implications of it is, okay, yeah, all right, oh, it's dope, yeah, that happened, yeah, we did it. Did y'all see that shit sticking in my man back?
Yep.
Yeah.
Shit.
I damn near thought they was got to stop the match because like they couldn't get it out at first.
Yo, did you see that shit?
Yeah.
Yo, first of all, I bet you Renee was mad than a motherfucker, boy. It's like, bro, Which leads me to my point. AEW, are y'all that desperate? To me, that seemed like nothing more than a desperation move.
Mm-hmm.
That seemed like nothing more than a poorly, well crafted, half ass thought out desperation move. Seriously. What if that had been a Droz moment? What if that had been an Owen Hart moment? What if that had been a Big E moment? What if that had been a JD McDonough moment? A Stone Cold Steve Austin? We've seen all these terrible fucking injuries happen.
So forth. Yeah, yeah.
We've seen it. Y'all remember when Psycho Sid went to the top rope, tried to do a leg drop, and that shit broke and it looked like a breadstick? We've seen it. You willingly did some dumb shit? Are y'all that desperate? I can't think of any other explanation. Unless I'm blowing smoke.
No, I didn't like it at all. Like I said, there was so much good stuff from last week's television, bro. That Billy Starks match with Mercedes, like I said, Megan Bain and Chris Statlander, and that Fatal 4-Way too. And then we don't want to just harp on that because, like I said, that Fatal 4-Way with Mark Davis, Ricochet, Mike Bailey, and Orange Cassidy was dope. It's just little stuff like that. Like, I mean, what does it really do?
Mm-hmm. And it was just Wednesday night. It wasn't on a premium live event. You know, it wasn't no like.
It's the middle of the show too.
Yeah, like no.
Not even the main event.
It just was like, you know, and even some of the spots with Edge, I kind of cringe like since he been over there because it's just kind of like even prior to Edge getting there, there was a lot of spots that Bryan Danielson was having, and I was just like, yo, I get it. You want to, you know, perform how you want to perform, but dog, it's not safe. Like, especially when you got fused vertebrae in your neck. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you literally putting your life on the line for it at that point. And it's like, is it really worth it?
That
you
part.
know, I've never got that high. Like, I get it. It's probably a high that you can only, you know, imagine. Us as fans, we can only imagine what it could mean to come out there and perform for thousands of people and, you know, get the reactions, you know, that they get from these matches, you know, that they have. But is at the end of it, like, is it really worth it? Like, you putting your, you know, the possibility of you being able to walk on the line. Like, I don't know, man. I'm not that dedicated.
So it's funny you mention that, right? It's funny how things segue into this, right? So as we all know, Dark Side of the Ring season 6 premiere yesterday, and the premiere was the Hell in a Cell, the infamous match with Mick Foley and Undertaker, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got Mick Foley, you got Undertaker's voice, you got JR, you got a couple of the referees, you got Terry Funk, you got people there telling the story, right? With Mick Foley, and you hear Mick Foley, or I'm sorry, you hear Jim Ross sit and say, was it worth it? You got other people like Al Snow, you got a lot of people that were there that end up coming to the ring after the first spot where Undertaker threw him off the cage, and then later when he went through the ring and all that. When you look at that shit, was it worth it? Right? Time. Sure. Because they were trying to make a name for themselves. This is during this is 98. You see what I'm saying? Now with some of this shit, y'all don't need to do that. When you look at Mick Foley, when you look at Lex Luger. Let's just be real. Look at Lex Luger, Hall of Fame inductee Lex Luger, right? Look at him now. We wouldn't have even thought 20, 25 years ago when he was the powerhouse, and I thought Lex Luger would have ended up looking like that.
At
You see
all.
what I'm saying? You look at Mick Foley now, like missing teeth, half an ear, certain stuff. Like, dude, they talked about how Mick Foley is in pain like every day. Can you fucking imagine that? So, bro, what if we talking about the vertebrae? What about some of the internal organs, bro?
Yeah.
The pancreas, the liver, kidneys, intestine. Like, to me, I don't think it was worth it. I think it was a silly spot. I think it was a desperate attempt of Tony Khan putting the ball in their hands, trying to sit and say, make something pop. Make magic. I really think that's what it is.
I was listening to Busted Open Radio and they talked about it because I think that was 2 weeks ago that match took place, and they were
last week.
discussing
That was last week.
Last week, and they had basically the same sentiments we had, like saying, "Yo, is this worth it?" And it was like AEW had saw some traction in the ratings where they were starting to have an incline again, as opposed to the decrease that they had been seeing in viewership. So it was like they were asking and posing the question, hey, do you think this was done in an effort to kind of like secure ratings and secure people to be like, oh shit, like let's tune in to AEW and see what's going on? You know what I mean? And that's what I was getting ready to ask you guys, like our perspectives today. Do you think when we were teenagers we would have still had that same perspective, or do you think it would have been just like, holy shit, you know what I'm saying, where we just would have been purely in the moment and not necessarily concerned for these people's well-being? Because at the end of the day, like you just said, Mick Foley is in pain. The man is in pain every day as a result of something that took place, what, 20 years ago?
27
years ago, yeah.
Still feeling the ramifications of that? Like, you know, I don't think we have that concern. I think we have that concern now, you know, as adults, as people who like, hey, at the end of the day, you guys are human. Like, I get it. You're going and you're doing the job, you know, but some things it's like, yo, it's a point to say, yo, it's okay not to do that. You know what I'm saying?
I'm on the fence, bro. Sorry for cutting you off. I'm on the fence with it, right? In our era, in the Attitude Hardcore era, when you think about those chair shots, when you look at all that stuff, what like the I Quit match, right? Rock and Mankind. What was that? 11 chair shots, 14 chair shots, stuff like that.
Oof.
And those wasn't just, those were handcuffed chair shots. Back in the day, in the thick of it, yeah, we would have been holy shit. We would have been right there in it, loving it. When you get a little older, a little wiser, you look at that and it's like, motherfucker. Like, yeah, he's gonna have CTE. Yeah, you know, not to crack jokes, not to poke fun. Like, yo, that shit. Do y'all remember some of that shit? Like, do you know how fucking gruesome some of that shit is? When Justin Credible broke his neck?
Yeah.
I mentioned Draz. When you look at some of the other televised accidents, like now it's cringe. Like, oh, tell me I didn't just see that. Oh. Like, yo, is it worth it?
And these people, the Just Incredibles, the Sabus, the RVDs, you know, during those times, the Tommy Dreamers, etc., in ECW, they were doing it for way less of a paycheck than what guys were seeing in WWE and WCW. So it's like, yo,
Hell,
was
bounce checks, bounce
yeah.
paychecks.
Tommy Dreamer talks about it all the time.
Yeah,
Paul Heyman gave him bounce checks, like, you know. So it's like,
like it, man. Don't get me wrong. When you look at the safest of matches, right? Y'all remember when Booker T injured Stone Cold, right?
mhm,
When you see certain stuff that happen and it's just like that freak accident. You know, Jay slipping, that freak accident. Titus O'Neil, funniest shit ever, slipping and sliding. Like, when you look at all that shit, it's an accident. Shit happens.
mhm,
Us as wrestling fans, wrestling aficionados, it's like, yeah, he didn't tuck. He didn't tuck all the way. Or yeah, he didn't get him propped up. He ain't turned that, he ain't popped that hip a little bit. We can see it. You know what I'm saying? And that's just with basic in-ring shit.
mhm.
You know, the power driver. You see how tucked everyone is.
Yeah.
And they're doing a phenomenal job of selling, but you see how tucked everyone is, as opposed to look at the power driver back in the 90s.
Yeah. Hey, while we at it, shout out to Kevin Owens, because the power drivers are very, very protected, very snug, and you know, it's like you said, doing a great job selling it. You know what I mean? But he's doing his damnedest to make sure that he doesn't hurt that other person taking it.
Yeah, like, and granted, and I'm not gonna sit and say CTE is not real or not a thing. I'm not gonna sit and say that shit at all. But it's like, dude, I would much rather grow up being a George Foreman than a Muhammad Ali.
Rest in peace, George Foreman too.
You rest in peace to both of them.
Yeah.
I would much rather have my senses and able to move my limbs as opposed to having, like, nah, bruh.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah, nah,
Without
I'm
being
cool.
disrespectful, but yeah, the shakes. Yeah.
Yeah, no disrespect at all. No jokes being cracked. No nothing. Like, no, like, legit, no. And I'm pretty sure if you went back and talked to some of these people, the Muhammad Ali, some of these guys, they would tell you, like, yeah, I probably should have retired sooner. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that some of that shit ain't worth it. Not for me. Not for me.
Yeah. And that's why I said, you know, with our younger versions of ourselves, you know, have the concern, or is this just kind of, you know, seasoned fans at this point, you know, having a perspective to say, hey, look, like, because, you know, we sound a little more concerned than the actual people doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, oh no, I don't know, Mox. Like, maybe not, brother. Like Nick
Bro,
Gage.
real shit.
I don't know
Real
if you should
shit,
do this
bro.
spot.
I think the concern was always there, though, legit. Like, if I could be honest with you, I think the concern was always there. Because what was that, Bad Blood? What was that? That was Bad Blood with Owen Hart, right?
Over
What
the limit.
pay-per-view?
Over the limit, I think it was called.
Over the Limit?
Yeah.
Whatever pay-per-view that I remember watching it, because we had the black box. And I remember seeing it just.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, like, when JR and King started talking, I remember being concerned, like, what the fuck just happened? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I remember in some of those spots, and granted, it was all a part of the show and the sale, but I remember some of that stuff, it being concerned as a kid, like, yo, what? Yo, that wasn't supposed to happen like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We have those moments now. It's like, yeah, that wasn't supposed to happen. You
Nah,
know,
it was something else. I forgot, but yeah.
what pay per view was that?
I think
Because I
he said
want
over the
to.
limit, but I think he's fact checking it right now. He was coming back. He was doing the blue blazer gimmick at that time.
Over the edge. Over
Okay,
the
yeah.
edge. Yeah, over the edge of 99. You know, dude, I remember what, in 97, 97, 98, when NWO was first starting, before we even knew who the third member was. I
Mhm.
remember being concerned for the wrestlers that were on the ground in the parking lot. You know what I'm saying? Because remember
Mhm.
Jimmy Hart ran around. I really felt bad for Ray. Because did you see how Kevin Hart, like, launched the shit out of him? You know,
Mhm.
the concern has always legitimately there. Now, as a more seasoned vet, it's like, yeah, nah, no, brother. Nah, you ain't got to do that for me. You cool.
Yeah. And that's what I think when I see those spots now. I'm just kind of sitting there and I'm like, okay, are they trying to match up or surpass what we've seen in the past, from the ECWs, from the hardcore title matches we saw in WWE, from I think WCW had a hardcore championship too, introduced during the early 2000s before Vince bought them. Like, it's like, it just has to have a rhyme and reason. Like, that's why for me personally, with the syringe, when I went as hard as I did, I just felt like, yo, oh, okay, I get it. It's an empty syringe, but let's just say, and it might just be my conspiracy brain, or just my brain is just kind of superstitious, where it's like, let's just say some air got into that shit. You know what I'm saying? On some Final Destination shit. Like, what could have took place? You know what I mean? And it's like, I get it. We want to be edgy. We want to do something never seen before, but let's make it make sense. You know what I'm saying? The Spike Bat thing, it looked cool. It definitely looked cool. That's why I said, if it pops up in the game, I wouldn't be shocked. I would think that's right on brand, because that's what even the whole design of it, I was like, yeah, that's gonna be in the next game. But the spot to me, it was just like, yo, it's too close to be playing games. You know what I mean? Especially when you see people in the prime of their career, like Big E shit was cut short. You know what I'm saying? As a result. So it's just like, let's not play those silly games if we don't have to.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
I want to switch lanes real quick. We touched on Rhea, Io, and Bianca. I wanted to ask you guys thoughts on
Why they keep muffing her, bro? That's all.
bro.
Did- let me ask y'all this since you brought it up. Is that even worth it? Because they're not going to close out. They're not going to close out the show either night.
If they don't close out,
They're
and
not.
and they still have the potential to maybe steal the show.
How? Bianca and
Yeah,
Rhea, sure.
I'm gonna give Io her spot too. I want to say, what was that triple threat they did in NXT? It was her. I think it was her, Rhea, and Charlotte
Yeah.
in your house, down there in NXT, and they put on a clinic, man. It was. I can't remember if that ended that show or not either, but it ended up being a great match. So I think it has the potential to maybe be a show stealer, if the girls, you know, come up with a nice plan and make the best of it. But like KG said, I didn't think about it. The Roman CM Punk Seth Rollins match definitely may be the one to end night one. But if that ends night one, where do we put? I mean, does Cody Cena end night two?
Yeah,
And if
without a
if that's the
question.
case, then are we seeing Gunther and Jay maybe kind of like how we saw Seth and Drew McIntyre? They coming out first. That was the first match
They
at
could
WrestleMania in
they could
Philly.
co-main event one of those nights.
So you think both of
I'm
those will be
giving.
on the
I'm
same
saying.
card?
I'm thinking Jay Gunther night one,
Yeah.
Cody and Cena night two.
Well, because you can still be in a great spot though. Because I mean, outside of for me for night two, outside of Cody and Roman, shit, Io and Bailey was the second best match on the card. And they went on right before them. So I mean, you kind of co-main event. So you don't have to have Jay as the opener. You can have him as the co-main event of night one. Have him go on right before the triple threat with Seth, Roman, and Punk.
So is it just
but knowing the E, they'll probably because see, I see that as that real quick. I kind of cut you off. I see night two. I see Charlotte and Tiffany going on right before Cody and Cena.
Okay.
So that way you can make the two main events feel like almost like a boxing field where you really getting, two main event caliber potential closers back to back.
Right, like back to back. I get you.
Because that's how they kind of played at night one. Because Sammy beat Gunther night one. I think that was the match that went on right before the tag title match. Oh, no, the tag team main event with Seth and Cody versus Rock and Roman. I believe that's how they did it last year.
Mm-hmm.
We knew Sammy wasn't going to close. It was one of those moments that match was worth closing. Because honestly, that was probably the best match on the card outside of maybe Rhea and Becky from night one.
Okay. I'm glad you brought that up too. I saw a conversation taking place in one of the wrestling chat groups I'm in, and some people were saying Tiffany Stratton doesn't look comfortable as champion. So I wanted to get y'all thoughts on that. They were saying like this spot she's in right now, and granted they changed her, like she was a heel leading up to cashing in. So she's now playing the role of face, and it's like Charlotte came in as the heel pretty much when she chose her, and she's been basically healing it up ever since. So the consensus in that chat was, Tiffany doesn't necessarily seem comfortable in this space right now leading up to WrestleMania against Charlotte. So I wanted to get you guys' feelings on that. Do y'all agree with that sentiment, or how is your perception of Tiffany Stratton as champion thus far?
KG, you want to go first?
I think they Trips pulled this is one time I will compare them because there are times when we say they have similar viewpoints and how a talent should be utilized. I think it's one of those scenarios where how Lana kept getting cheered and Vince panicked and he flipped her and made her a babyface. Tiffany should not be a babyface. I don't think her gimmick is because they really haven't changed the gimmick. Her voice, everything about her, it just doesn't. I don't see her as a babyface right now. I think they should have let her get a heel run. They got too excited. We were like, "Oh, we have to have Charlotte." You could have did the same. You could have just had Bianca do the job for her. We said before, Bianca can afford a loss. She's undefeated at WrestleMania. She's a big enough star. You could have put Tiffany over as a heel.
No. We want her to keep. We want Bianca to keep the streak. She got to keep the streak now. The streak got to stay alive with Bianca.
Oh man, but yeah. Is something missing?
Do you think? I know because I know everybody wanted to see the matchup Charlotte versus Tiffany, right? I get that. Do you think it was a mistake pulling that trigger right here, right now? Could we just maybe have had Tiffany cash in on Rhea, for example, and then Nia hold the title leading into WrestleMania and kind of going that way, like as opposed to what we got? Who would have won? I'm not sure who would have won because you had Charlotte win WrestleMania because you could have had Tiffany cash in on Rhea, and that would have Charlotte versus Nia, and Tiffany maybe going up against Bianca. So like you said, that probably would have worked out a little better. And by Bianca being such a big star, she could, if she's gonna lose, she can run the risk of losing and it don't really hurt her. And with the other storyline that's taking place with the, Bianca surrounding her with Trinity and Jade, Okay, it kind of looked like she's gonna lose anyway. With maybe Jade costing her the title. In that match. So it may have just. What do y'all think?
I don't know. Tiffany's just her whole cadence to me doesn't even sound like a babyface. She's still kind of sounds like how we said for years Seth had an annoying voice that just screamed heel. And he kind of had to change his cadence. I don't know if he kept going to promo school or what. I don't know what it was. But Seth you could tell it was like he's definitely comes off delivery wise and everything with his promos now. I could believe him as a babyface. But nothing to do with in-ring work, because we know Tiffany's a great in-ring worker. She could play both styles, but she don't even seem like she's like you said, she seems out of place. Well, whoever you said saw that, she didn't have the feel of a babyface. Because like I said, they didn't do anything to change her gimmick, and the gimmick is not a babyface gimmick. The match is going to be great, though, more than likely. I'll say that, but I think they pulled the trigger too soon.
Do I think Tiffany is uncomfortable as champion? No. Do I think this is a bad pairing? Yes. No one wanted to see Charlotte. We don't need her. Could she have had a little bit more time without the title? Sure. Develop, grow, develop. But it's here. We got it. I'm sure it'll be a decent match. I'm sure it'll be decent. Because y'all like, yeah, it'll be decent. Because even if y'all look at like the fighting and them getting pulled apart, trash. Like, it just wasn't good. I don't know if Charlotte's been gone too long. I don't know if Tiffany is like, oh my God, it's Charlotte. I don't know. But what I do know is trash. Like the build up, trash. I'm not impressed. I'm just not. But that's me.
I just expect it to be a great match because Charlotte's only had one dud at WrestleMania, and that was against Ronda. Other than that, she arguably had classics every time. The triple threat with Sasha and Becky at WrestleMania 32, which it was just okay. Well, there wasn't too many people involved because I think they did a 5-way or something at WrestleMania 33 because I think Bayley walked in as champion. She walked out. They had at least 2 other people involved. Nia was involved. I want to say somebody else was involved. Maybe Alexa. I don't know. WrestleMania 34, as much we are pissed at the result because that she should not have beat Asuka in her streak, still was a fire match. 35 was okay. Yeah, that wasn't a dub, but it was solid. 36 was honestly, people forget that was a great match against Rhea because it was an empty arena. I think a lot of people just because me personally, between those 2 WrestleManias, they did the 2-night thing. It was either that or that triple threat ladder match with John Morrison, Kofi, and who was the third person in that match? Because it was like for the tag titles, but like people tested positive for COVID and stuff, so they couldn't have that many. I forget who the third person was because they each had one person representing their team, but that was pretty good. And then 39, like I said, you had 3 matches over those 2 nights. Arguably, what was the best match between Rhea and Charlotte? The tag title match between KO and Sammy versus the Usos, or the triple threat between Gunther, Sheamus, and Drew McIntyre. So it's not that Charlotte put out bangers. I think I have high expectations of that because Tiffany has shown when given enough time to cook that she could have a class. Because her and Becky had a hell of a street fight on NXT when Becky walked in as a champion. So I mean, worst case scenario, I say it'll be decent. But I'm with Phil. I have not enjoyed the build itself at all. Cause it seems like it's 2 people that are more comfortable being heels. Like on Friday, she was like trying to talk over Tiffany. It was a weird.
Yeah, it was. It was weird.
I didn't like it.
It was weird. It was damn near
It felt
disappointing. Like,
forced. Yeah.
yes. Forced more than anything. Yes, it does.
Yeah,
Yes, it
I don't know if
does.
Charlotte's trying to make herself look like more of a star because you've heard reports of that stuff too. Not necessarily with Charlotte, but like you hear reports of people who already made trying to make themselves because it looked like she was trying to embarrass Tiffany almost. Not that I feel sorry for Tiffany, but it just seemed too weird. I don't think that
Even
was
when Charlotte
organized.
came at her, like, when what was that? When Charlotte came to the ring and Tiffany was talking, she was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Were you saying something?" Like, it's almost like she trying to big sis her. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay, I get it, but where you been to even come back and jump
right.
in title picture? Like, bro, stop. You know what I'm saying? Cut it
Mm.
out. Cut it out.
Well, if we're gonna let John Cena just say, "Hey, you know what? I'm what's good for business, and I'm entering the elimination chamber," I guess
See,
Charlotte would be the one that could do that in the women's division.
true to a degree, but my problem is when it was time for Cena to go down the card, Cena went down the card. He elevated the
True.
U.S. Championship. Charlotte
Yeah.
went down. Charlotte
That's
went
true.
down the card. She started complaining on social media, subtweeting what Corey Graves said. Something's missing from my queen. No, he's not wrong or something. She said, "I'm like, sweetheart, everybody go down." I ain't gonna say sweetheart because it was misogyny. Charlotte, young lady, everyone goes down the card eventually. What did Chris Jericho do? Took it back 16, 17 years ago when he was doing the whole suit and tie gimmick thing. Him and Shawn
Yeah.
Michaels, feud of the year, when he accidentally punched his wife in the face, that was crazy. When they had that ladder match at No Mercy for the World Heavyweight Championship main event. What did Chris Jericho do the next year? Elevated the IC Championship with Rey Mysterio, old school WCW Classic feud. Uh,
Mhm.
they went down the card. That happens. All of a sudden, Charlotte's up tweeting, complaining. Next thing we know, the tag titles, Becky and Charlotte versus Kabuki Warriors main event in TLC. Make it make sense. Like, I'm with Phil. We didn't need her in this spot. I mean, I hope Tiffany goes over because if not, there's gonna be some unhappy fans in Vegas. Because Charlotte might get one of the loudest. I'm being honest, outside of Dirty Dom, I think she might get booed out of the building. I'm dead honest with you.
Now you saying her boos are gonna be louder than Dirty Don?
No, it's not. I said outside of.
Okay. Because at
Like,
him, I think he just get it now kind of out of respect. The fans are just rocking with him during his heel run, and they just kind of boo him now. But
Nah,
I
they
think
hate that. They hate that motherfucker.
I think fans are annoyed with Charlotte.
Yeah, it's
It's not that they don't respect. I think they're annoyed because she hasn't shown any character development, and I don't know when.
she's one dimensional.
Yeah,
Like,
she can wrestle her ass off. Don't get me
she
wrong.
can wrestle. The queen gimmick has gotten stale. It is. Let's just be honest. It's gotten stale. There's nothing new to it. Here's the thing with
It's a
Dom.
double
Yeah, they
standard
hate
too.
Dom. Yeah, they hate
They
Dom.
won't
We
push.
understand
Go ahead,
everything
Phil.
that happened with Dom and so on and so forth. And yeah, that's why they boo him. We get that. With her, it's just kind of like the entitlement. Like, to be missing something. Like, what we
Yeah.
doing?
Because how many times you hear about people not getting pushed because they don't have certain aspects of the look or whatever have you? Because it's a double standard. Because you can't tell me that Charisma Vacuum
Okay.
is a 15, 14 time world champion. You tell me, and Sami Zayn's never won a world championship on the main roster. You don't tell me she got. We seen Sami Zayn. That dude's probably the most versatile person they have personality wise for the last 5 years in terms of being able to. The Andre Uce, how many times he made him do his great character?
yeah.
Not feeling Uzi.
Yeah,
That's off the cuff. Like, I don't even think that was on the script. He's just not feeling very oozy, and it's just, how am I supposed to keep a straight face? You know what I'm saying? Like,
If I interject my dog, like what?
that shit was funny, and it went over. Ooh, see.
Like
Shit went over.
This man won best gimmick for I think Wrestling Observer gave him best gimmick for Honorary Uce, like gimmick wrestling gimmick of the year.
You know, Solo Sikoa, you know, trying his best to stay in character, you know, with the stern face, you know,
Right.
and he's over there trying to hold a laugh in. Like, yeah, the dude,
No.
yeah.
No, I'm gonna sound like I'm contradicting myself too, but because I do understand the women's division is X amount of size less than the men's division. I get that. But to be a 14-time champion, that's insane. On either side, that's insane.
And how long has she wrestled?
She won her first championship 10 years ago. So that's insane. If you consider how many injuries she's had and time off she's had at times, whether it be personal time off or I know at one time her implant popped, didn't it?
Yeah.
I'm just saying personal time off or actual injuries or whatever have you.
Surgeries and stuff.
That's insane. She won her first championship less than 10 years ago because she beat Nikki Bella because Nikki had the Divas championship at the time. I think it was like Night of Champions 2015 or something. That's when she won her first championship on the main roster. So and it hadn't even been a full 10 years ago because that was in the fall of 2015.
So you're talking about Charlotte
less
touching
than
the title
14 times in about 8 years, give or take, if you take out all her injuries.
So damn near twice a year.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Because she's been out for over a year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, that's one injury. Then what about the other ones or time off? They all deserve time off, the top stars, don't get me wrong, but it's just insane when you think about that.
Her divorce, her marriage, her other divorce, her other marriage.
Yeah.
They're watching this 2K25 in the background. This shit look pretty fucking good.
Yeah, they got them graphics straight ever since that one year. People were mad.
That was 20. Yeah, that was WWE 2K20. That was, oh my God.
I just saw the glitches and I was mad.
Story wasn't too bad, but yeah, the glitches and yeah, it killed it. The graphics. It had like Sasha's braid, like going at the braid had its own mind. Like it was
so like a match when she don't have a wig on straight.
I'm moving right along.
Dude, for a minute, because Junior PJ playing 2K25, and I'm sitting there like, is he watching something on the DVR? Like what?
No, they did look decent. They did look decent because they occasionally show the graphics going to commercial break.
Yeah.
I just noticed they started doing that for some talents just to promote the game. They probably should be doing it with most of them, but I guess they kind of want to get you to get a general idea before they just a little snippet as they can. So. Another
genius move to sell the game.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's see, man. Wise man, did you have a heated roundtable topic for us?
None that KG is going to agree with.
That's why it's heated roundtable. Spark it up.
Y'all ready?
Go for it.
All right, here we go.
Ooh, the roundtable's getting heated. Heated roundtable.
All right, so for real, my heated roundtable discussion. I've said it before. I will say it again. Bobby Lashley is Lil Nicky from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Y'all can't convince me any differently. I keep trying to tell y'all this. Bobby Lashley was in Little Rascals. Like, he was with Alfalfa and them. Like, I don't get why y'all don't get that. I don't get it.
I'm doing serious. All right. In terms of the young, or not even young crop, because I don't know the average age anymore. Because the average age on the main roster is actually pretty insane. Whether it be somebody on NXT or on the current roster on Raw or SmackDown, who do you see as? And it don't matter which night because now.
The fuck, you just gonna ignore my question?
Yeah, I'm trying to take
pretty
the high
much.
road. Who's somebody you see? Who's somebody you see, man or woman, you could just take just two even. You don't gotta necessarily face each other as a potential WrestleMania main eventer. Somebody
from
that's never
from NXT
any
or
any any brand like that's not like an established star. Because I'm not saying they can't get your first main event WrestleMania, but for example, I don't ever see them giving that spot to Finn, for example. As much as I love the guy, I'm just somebody who's probably never done it main evented before that could potentially be a like close the show type thing. Well, no matter which night either, because it's still a big deal to close the show. I feel like.
Well, if Jey Uso is getting the opportunity to possibly close the show, and I'm not saying that as a dig to him.
Yeah, no.
I'm gonna say I do think Finn is capable. He's very capable of closing the show. It's just about getting the opportunity again. Now, if we get the Prince Finn, or even Demon Finn, like if he even goes back to some iteration of that, and he's able to remain healthy, I think he could very well
gain the momentum. That's true.
Yeah, he could gain the momentum and could definitely main event a WrestleMania without a doubt. It's just about those factors and everything lining up, because when he was the Prince, he was on a tear, dude. And before Vince called him up and made a mockery of the Demon, the Demon was a big deal in NXT, and it was a selling point. Like it was one of those things where, oh yeah, we couldn't wait. We were clamoring to see the Demon. We knew certain matchups, certain feuds, the Demon was coming out toward the end of it. You know what I'm saying? And the only time I think I saw the Demon lose in NXT was against Samoa Joe when he did that. What was it? Spike? Was it Spike Bulldozer? I can't think of what it was called. I think he did it off of the ladder.
The Muscle Buster.
The Muscle Buster. And that's the only time I saw the Demon lose down there.
I was just saying from a standpoint of who they might invest in, because like I said, the Jey Uso thing kind of caught fire. And I'm not saying that Finn couldn't. I just don't know if they will invest. That's not like to say it's. I just think it's not a realm possibility. I just, like you said, who would have thought the Jey would be this high when they were doing the main event Jey Uso thing 3-4 years ago, or 4 or 5 years ago? With the bloodline. Who would have thought? So yeah, to your point, you never know. I was just thinking because he already in his early 40s. Finn is. That's all. Some for me, some are obvious choice picks who have never closed the show. Like too obvious would be Rhea or maybe like a Braun Breaker.
Definitely.
Go ahead, Phil.
Let me know when y'all done with this, because No Chill with Phil Jr. has a hot take, and I'm gonna let him do it.
That was just about it. Maybe from NXT, maybe like a could definitely see maybe like an Obafemi, or and he's young enough too. Like what's his name? Javon Carter, I think his name is.
Yeah, or is it Evans?
Evans, sorry. Yeah.
Javon Evans.
Roxanne Perez.
Oba definitely has the potential. Roxanne Perez definitely has the potential.
Yeah.
As far as NXT is concerned, Jada Parker's a star. Like, in ring, she's getting better. She's getting there.
Stephanie McCoy, obviously, we remiss not to mention her. You can do a double champ with her already. So
yeah, double duty last on Tuesday. Excuse me. Yeah, yesterday. Yeah. Great matches. So her, Julia, I think has the potential. So it's and then hey, Jordan Grace. We definitely have to say her.
You know who's gonna be mad if we throw this name? Trick Willie. No,
all right, No Chill with Phil Jr. What you got, baby?
Drew McIntyre is a bad wrestler.
I can't co-sign that one.
You gotta say why. You gotta say
why.
Tell us why. You gotta tell us why.
Okay, WrestleMania 40, right? He beat Seth Rollins, and he got the championship, and he was gloating. Then he was bragging it off to CM Punk. That man could have left, but no, he kept running his mouth. Oh, I'm gonna do this to you. I'm gonna beat you up because they have a rivalry. And then CM Punk socked him. He hit him with the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then guess who came out? That man, what's that? Damian Priest. He came out, he hit him with the finisher, and he got the title. He could have walked away. He's a bad wrestler.
He
That's all. That's all. And there's other instances where he lost the championship. He fumbled the bag. Other instances that I can't remember, but that's one of them.
I hear you. I hear you. I can't argue it. I can't
he
argue.
definitely likes to play the victim for sure when he has opportunities to walk out on top of the mountain for sure.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, tell them your socials.
Oh, what?
Tell me your socials.
Tell them your socials, man. Let them know where they can hear some more hot takes from No Chill with Phil Jr.
Socials, that's it.
Nah, I got my own social. You ain't on mine.
What's your socials, Junior? That's what we talking about. What's yours?
Xbox, PJ, THA, Cool 306. I be playing all types of games. Call of Duty, Fortnite, 2K25, and the phone.
Okay, okay. He said he ready for the smoke. Yes, sir. Okay, all right. So people,
all the
y'all
smoke.
heard him. He said
I
he
want
want
all the smoke.
All the
Street
smoke.
Profits mentioned.
Who is your go-to, right before you get ready to go, who is your go-to on 2K25, WWE 2K25? Who's the person you like playing with the most so far?
Myself.
Wow, pause.
No, pause.
You like playing with yourself?
No.
Good pause. Good pause by dad. Good pause by dad.
We were saying who's your go-to character.
Who's your go-to? Come here. Who's your go-to character?
Your wrestler.
Character.
Let's go. Trouble. No, Jey Uso.
You wasn't even playing with Jey Uso now.
Yeah.
You was playing with Cody. Wow, pause.
Yeah, pause.
Good pause.
Cody Raheem.
Cody Raheem Rhodes.
All right.
He was like, I got a hot take. All right, go ahead.
Let's hear it. Yeah.
I'm gonna let you do it.
That was a good hot take though. Drew be look like out there looking like a dummy.
I think with certain people now, they don't need the title.
They don't.
They don't need the title.
He's
Seth,
one of the best talkers, honestly, they have.
yeah,
I'll give him that.
Seth, Roman, Punk, Drew. They don't need the title right now.
It's not about that.
You know, Miz, they don't need a title.
It's not to say they won't get the championship again. It's just right now they ain't even really.
I don't think Miz
like
will get it again, if I'm being honest. But he don't need it. He's solidified. I'm really waiting on him to get on commentary and get into his Jerry the King Lawler bag, because if Miz ever does commentary, he gonna be a nice little.
He's rock solid. Rock solid.
Yeah.
I will say this. Brian Breaker is on a fast track. I like where he's going. I like what they're doing with him. I'm very impressed with Brian Breaker. I'm happy to be a wrestling fan as a whole. I look forward to seeing what happens next.
Oh, we ain't even we'll talk the vignettes. We ain't even talk about. Clearly, one is Ray Phoenix.
Yeah,
that's obvious. I think the other one's Aleister Black, the smoke one.
Oh,
with the 4.
And before we get out too, Saraya, formerly Paige, she's leaving AEW as well. So I don't know if it necessarily means a return to WWE, but yeah, she's out of there as well.
Just as long as they keep her and Xavier Woods from each other, though.
There you go, man.
They don't re-sign Brad Madison. They got the trio championships. That's
crazy. Do you keep Ray Phoenix and Aleister Black till after WrestleMania, for the night after WrestleMania Raw? Or will we see him before that?
It depends. Because you don't have to have Ray and Penta together. It would help the tag team division for sure, but Penta's already kind of established himself to a degree that I don't necessarily know if you should put them together now. Like, had they held off Penta's debut, they could have just did something similar where the Hardys popped up at WrestleMania 33, but now it's just like, also, the rumor is Britt Baker's done there too.
Oh.
That's the rumor. I don't know if it's factual or
She
not.
had a stroke. What you mean? She can't do shit.
Well, Cody could be writing up promos again.
Like, didn't she lose her power of speech and stuff too?
No, she wrestled several times, Phil. She had the stroke like over a year ago because she's been at all. She wrestled at All In last year. She lost the most.
So, bro, they've been letting the handicapped woman wrestle, bro.
Oh, my
That's fucked
goodness.
up.
Wow. Hey, on that note,
Yeah,
That's
wise
fucked up.
man, you gotta chill. You gotta chill, bro.
He the one that said it.
He didn't call her. He didn't call her handicap. You did.
I ain't
Bro.
say anything. You the one said
She
they let her.
Bro, she had
I
a
don't know why I'm
stroke,
laughing
bro.
at this.
Nah, that's y'all laughing at it. You trying not to laugh at it.
I'm laughing at you, man.
I'm
not
laughing at you
her
because you know
having
they
a
wouldn't medically clear that woman and she still had a stroke. First off, she still be hospitalized.
Bro, they medically cleared Daniel Bryan.
Bryan
Now what?
Because Daniel Bryan wasn't suffering from a stroke at the time.
Right, but bro, she had
Neither
a
was
stroke,
she.
so she got her power of speech back and she not drooling no more? Is that what you trying to tell me?
No.
You've seen it.
man. Hey, yo.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a great episode of Hot Take Wrestling Podcast. I will not make fun of anyone that had a potentially life-threatening.
You just did. You just did.
I am not.
Was it?
Kenneth,
Hold up.
Kenneth Maurice Gardner.
Hold on. Uno momento, guys, because we got a last minute appearance real quick before we get out of here. This guy.
What up, bro?
I can sit up now. This is progress.
There we go.
This is
Will.
Hold on 1 second, brother. Let me go ahead and give you an intro right quick. One more second.
OMG, it's Clutch Uso, king in a black robe. Ill will, hashtag high takes king.
Willie Uso, speak to the people, man.
after my fight with doing simple things like sitting, standing, running, and jumping. And with therapy, I found the strength to come together, together with my brother to say to somebody like John Cena, I want you to hit me. The joke is funny. Who the hell you talking to?
The joke about Britt Baker or the joke
No,
about
the
him?
joke about the joke. Y'all know the joke. I still ain't seen this man in like 20 years. Every promo is a floating hat and a colorful shirt.
I'll be honest, Will, your entire background right now is like nothing but like smoke.
Because he's been smoking. Will, back me up.
Yes.
Pause.
Mm-hmm.
Support this. Yeah. Now, was it or was it not KG? A couple weeks ago, I say about at least 4 months ago, KG said that Adam Cole broke up with Britt Baker because she had a stroke.
I did not say that.
What?
A stroke?
Why you smiling, bro? Why you smiling? You know you said that
I
shit.
couldn't because I'm trying to change the energy from last season when I just like gave you this death stare when you said some off the wall stuff. I'm trying to be in a better mood this year. That's messed up, man.
Okay, see, like,
Bro, you the one that said it.
I know KG say off the wall things, but
I ain't never said nothing like that.
You said not Daniel Bryan, Adam Cole broke up
See,
with
he
Britt
can't
Baker because she had
even
a
he
stroke.
can't even get her ex-partner straight. See, he already fallen in his own web of lies. This deceit.
Who?
Oh my God! All I said was they broke up. I ain't say because she had.
she had a stroke. I mean, like, fill me in because I heard she was a difficult person to have to deal with. People didn't.
Well,
my
no.
goodness.
KG said that Britt Baker had a stroke and that Adam Cole broke up with her because of that. And then I was like, yo, she's still allowing, like, she's still wrestling. They was like, yeah. And I was like, yo, they let a handicapped person wrestle? Like, why would they do that? And KG will start cracking jokes and trying not to laugh. Because I was like, is her eye working? Like, is she drooling or anything? That was, and KG started laughing. And I was like, yo, I'm legit asking a question because I don't think that's safe.
It wasn't KG. It was me laughing. I would take the blame for that. That was all me.
Wow. He just laughed now, too. He just laughed.
Like
he laughing now, but at the time, that was me.
I don't know about
I cannot believe that you fabricating that this woman was drooling. You saw
now,
her.
see, know what? Now, see, bro, that ain't right, bro. Now, that ain't right.
Now, look, now, because we
He just
now,
said she was drooling. He just said she was drooling. He just said that.
We're going to get on some, because I want to get Clutch perspective
Oh,
on the
my
thing before we get out of here,
goodness.
because we was at the end of the episode. So,
Oh,
KG, can you repeat your heated roundtable question real quick,
sure.
so we can get Clutch perspective?
Oh man, I said.
Hopefully, it's not about Britt Baker this time.
Oh man,
I have no idea what's going on right now. I just said.
What was it?
I just said, are there two wrestlers that you could see that never main evented a WrestleMania, like the last match on the show, basically? Are there like any two on Raw, SmackDown, or NXT? You can pull from both shows or one from each, no matter. I was just saying, because we said some obvious ones. Obviously, we said Braun Breaker or Rhea Ripley because they never closed the show.
Mm-hmm.
But we were just saying anybody, maybe even NXT, you can see potentially doing that.
That I could see doing it one day.
Yeah, it don't matter whether it's 42.
Already?
Yeah, what? Yeah, exactly. Whether it's 42, 43, or any like future one.
Okay, so I can see like Rhea Ripley getting the main event in a few years, just so that like Becky and Ronda they're not the only women that could say they had a main event. I could see that coming for a few reasons too, because the way they going about like the feud right now with Io, Bianca, and Rhea, that I like the point. It's like Io is good. Don't discredit her, please. Don't discredit her. But these are our stars. We have to have them in the match too. And guess what the match dynamic reminds me of? The triple threat from WrestleMania years back with Orton, Cena, and Triple H.
24.
Yeah, and I'll get into that at some other time. But I could definitely see Rhea being a main event of WrestleMania at some point. And if they push them right and they play their cards right, LA Knight could be in the main event. LA Knight can get a whole yes movement going into a Royal Rumble season in a good 2 years. And I'm only using 2 years because he had the momentum to make him what he is now. It kind of dwindled down after Cody won the belt. They gave him, 2 U.S. title runs to legitimize his momentum. Now he got to build on it so that he can be a main eventer in that position going forward. That's what right now is. So those are two people I can really see. And if I had to throw maybe an NXT name that could one day, hey, that's tough. Because let's be honest, the NXT core roster, as it looks right now, they suck. But if we had to, Trick Williams.
I literally said Trick Willie before.
Trick Williams.
That whoop
I
that
know
trick.
somebody that's
Whoop that trick movement.
He got to eat that.
Oh man.
I want to ask you the initial heated roundtable discussion. What, bro? Why every time bro? Never mind, bro. Never mind.
I want to hear it. I want to hear it.
No, you do not.
You really want to hear my question, bro?
I guarantee you, there's a 99% chance you don't want to hear it.
You really want to hear my question, bro?
I got you. Let's go.
Bro, the initial roundtable discussion
It
was
wasn't really a
Bobby.
question though. It was like a statement.
You want like perspective on the statement?
Yeah,
Okay.
niggas want to cough when I try to ask my questions, but it's all good. I
Now you
said,
got to do it.
thank you. Keep your germs on mute, sir. I said Bobby Lashley is Lil Nicky from the Fresh Prince, and they don't believe me.
You said this before.
Exactly.
He said
But
this.
they always want to disagree with me, bro.
He about to disagree with you. What you mean?
You were supposed to came with the concrete footage that was supposed to prove this point. We've discussed
I
this.
did.
When?
You wasn't here.
So y'all saw it?
Yeah, and they tried to say it wasn't real.
Please explain to me how Bobby Lashley, who was about the same age as Will Smith, was a little child in Independence Day.
I think Bobby is 48.
He might be older than Will Smith or the same age.
Y'all gotta be them child actors old now.
Exactly.
We remember them vividly as children. Them niggas.
How do they have two different names and they don't look anything alike? Phil, please explain this to me.
Bro, what you mean they look... Bro, hold on, bro.
I don't want to be that person, but we're not gonna call every bald person that look a certain color the same person. That's just like
He's not even bald him. I think he got dreads like Will now, the actor that played, what was his, something Bagley?
Nicky, the one that played Nicky?
Yeah.
Ross Bagley.
Didn't he have dreads?
His name Ross Bagley. When you see him on the screen every day, you remember them names. That nigga name was Ross Bagley.
And he's 36.
Look,
I'm still older than him.
Yeah, you older than Nicky.
Damn.
Now, Will, what I will ask while the wise man is checking for his proof of
he gonna you know what he gonna do. You know what he gonna do.
Yeah. Now you were in that group chat I was referencing because I asked KG and I asked Phil about it. When the statement was made about Tiffany Stratton looking uncomfortable in this lead up to WrestleMania versus Charlotte, I wanted to get your thoughts on that. Do you think it's that she looks uncomfortable, or do you think it's a little bit more to it?
I remember I kicked that conversation off, and the reason I did that because I agree with the initial statement. Like, it took for her to get the title to realize, like, one of those classic things about I hate to say it, but shit, I got a hot take for your ass. Sometimes we're not always right when it comes to who we want to be champion. She a prime example of that. I remember how we thought we want to Liv Morgan to be champ till the belt was on her. We gonna go over that again. This is just one of those examples. And you know what? I think this is what it is. Charlotte exposed it by accident when they had that promo segment that just happened recently when she said, you won your title of Money in the Bank. A lot of my title wins, I beat these people, and like, you're not important. That statement, that's so damaging because it's the truth. It's so true. She could be a transitional champion out of nowhere just based on how she won, really realistically. And like, you're gonna try to build her against Charlotte Flair when it's starting to look like Charlotte might beat her. She doesn't look like this confident. It's like they put the championship on her. Now they're trying to teach her how to be a champion as the weeks go on. And that's usually a setup for failure, at least respectfully in the women's division. I've seen them do it to men too. And the failure rate on that is pretty high in that department too. The only time I think it actually worked is against Cena. But he's so damn mad. I can't wait. I need like 50 minutes on him, but it's coming. Yeah, like it don't always work when you just put the belt on somebody and go, okay, let's see how it works with them being champion. This is what's going on with Tiffany Stratton right now, and she was more confident when she was chasing the title. It was in her expression, it was in her promos, everything, even in her wrestling. Like she been kind of off, and it's Tiffany Stratton with the belt right now is just as is on the same level as Jey Uso's momentum against Gunther after Royal Rumble. It's not.
Okay. Fellas, y'all got a retort or just appreciate the the perspective.
No, I appreciate the perspective. Like I
I
said earlier,
appreciate the perspective.
yeah. I just repeat what I said earlier. Like I said, she don't seem comfortable as a babyface either. Her gimmick is not a babyface gimmick.
But that's the main issue right there, bro. Like they put the belt on her and they got her in a role that's kind of new to her. When Tiffany was the champion in NXT, she was a heel and it worked.
Yeah,
She was a good champion in NXT as a heel. So like, what's the divide? It's the character. It's the personality.
Yeah.
This is kind of like, and I didn't think about it earlier when we brought it up, but this is kind of like when they turned Randy Orton face when they kicked him out of Evolution.
Mm-hmm. I'll give it to you better. You know, this remind me of. Remember when they put the belt on Eve Torres?
Yeah.
Bingo.
Yeah. But you also got to give them time too to let the fans accept them as baby faces instead of and do a slow transition. Because with Orton, they just once again they pulled it. They got trigger happy. And like, oh, now you're a baby face. Nah, he didn't have to be a baby face to get the title from Chris Benoit. It was time for, even though now that was during that time though when people was low key calling him Triple Ego. Because that should have been Orton time to cook. But what did he do? He got it. They did all that just to get the title back on Triple H, really?
Yeah.
I'm saying because Benoit had his moment in the sun. At WrestleMania 20. Won the triple threat. He had the title for about 4 months. Orton had it for a month or less. Back to Triple H. Okay, cool. So we did all that just to get the title back on Triple H?
Yeah.
That's what this feels like, bro. You just said something. That's what this felt like because the belt finna go back to Charlotte.
Crazy.
This whole thing is pretty much leading up to. She was injured. She was out. She's coming back for WrestleMania season, and then the belt is on the line. And she's the stronger personality in a feud with a champion, and she's been champion before. It's like the Seth Rollins like formula when they'll give the belt to the safe champion. And Charlotte's been proven to be a safe champion. She can build stars when she has the belt. Tiffany cannot going to build nobody but herself with the title right now. She's not a comfortable babyface. And yeah, she probably should have just they probably should have prolonged the feud with Nia a little longer so that it could build her up as a babyface.
I said that.
They cared more about her when she was going against her than they did anything else.
You know what else they could have did? In hindsight's 2020, they could have did like a 2-woman power trip. When you got Money in the Bank, you don't have to cash in on a world champion. They could have had Tiffany cash in on the inaugural U.S. Women's Champion. It didn't have to be Chelsea Green. The greatest Chelsea is what she's doing. I enjoy Chelsea Green's character and everything, so I'm not gonna sit here and like say she deserves her moment in the sun, so to speak. But you don't have to cash in on the world champion. They could have or hell, it's never been done before. I don't know. It would have been weird. I guess she would have, because then she would have just been handing the title to Nia. I'm going to say you could have had her cash in on the tag champions.
I said that before, yeah.
You could have had Tiffany do that and then just say Nia's my partner. I know it's a weird, well, it wouldn't be that weird, though. We've seen people hand championships before.
You know what's funny about that part, though? I mentioned this before, and I mentioned LA Knight for a reason with the whole title thing. Like LA Knight got two championship reigns in less than a year. I mentioned this before for a reason. Vince McMahon got us spoiled on these lengthy title reigns, but we grew up on transitional title reigns. Like,
no, we did.
We didn't. know how many times I saw a title switch on Monday Night Raw?
No, I said no, we did.
Oh, I make sure I didn't. I had admit that's me.
Yeah,
That's
we
me.
definitely did because Rock and Foley did that when they were out during early '99.
Oh yeah.
Because Foley's three championship.
When Foley won the belt from Rock, it was on Raw. Then a few weeks went by, he got it right back.
Yeah,
on Raw.
Foley's 3 championship reigns lasted I think combined like 30 days at most. I think he's a 3-time world champion, but I think 30 days give or take.
Kane's first WWE championship reign lasted 24 hours.
Yep.
Who's?
Kane, because he won that first blood match against that same event. That's the same night when Foley got thrown off the cage. I think it was it King of the Ring 1998.
No, that was Hell in a Cell.
No, it was no, but it wasn't called. It wasn't called Hell in a Cell though.
Was it Bad Blood?
I think it was King of the Ring. I could be wrong.
It was either King of the Ring 97 or Bad Blood.
It was 98, I think.
It was 98.
98. It was a King of the Ring 98 then. That was a Hell in a Cell match with Taker and Mankind, and then the main event was Austin and Kane in the first blood match. That's when Undertaker came out, swung at Kane, missed, hit Austin, he bleeding. Then the next match, Austin got the belt back. We ain't seen nothing like that in a long time.
Yeah.
We spoiled on that. Like that cash-in idea would have kind of worked because who said like Chelsea Green couldn't have lost it, got it back, then somebody else could have got it, lost it, got it back. Like these belts can really do something if they book them right. It's just they stuck on the let them hold it for a minute. It's probably time to let that go to really help do something with all of these people that they got. They signed so many goddamn people, and none of the stuff that they matter. Nothing that they're going to do is matter. Like nothing that they do will matter because they're never booked in a position to be a champion because the champions hold the belt for 6 months to a year, no matter what the hell they do.
But then you don't want the title to become the 24/7 championship either.
But they got
that's also true, but that's depending on how you book whatever championship. In my opinion, that women's intercontinental belt could be the hot potato belt for a minute until they find a champion they want to really hold on to it for a while. Because not to shit on Laura Valkyria, but her personality is missing. I don't know what she is besides a wrestler whose song goes woo, and she botches sometimes, but we'll get there.
Yeah, no, they should have put that on Dakota Kai.
They could have went back and forth between her, Michi, and a few people.
Zoe Starks is another one.
I fucks with Zoe. With Zoe.
Sir. Yes, sir. Hell, Shayna Baszler, like
Shout out to the stud line.
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out. Yeah.
Big fan of the stud line over here.
You got a stud fetish too?
I'm juicy little brother.
Man, some of these studs is.
Hey man, they got untouched parts.
All right, we not gonna talk about studs on Hot Take Wresting.
It's the heated roundtable discussion.
It is not.
What's hotter than an untouched box?
It is.
Well, I have my theory about that. Them boxes ain't untouched. It's just touched by one. They all have one that can get it, and
they got an undeniable tightness because they ain't been getting touched on.
They ain't get it often, but yeah, they all got one that you just
KG, who's your stud crush?
That it factor. Shout out to Bobby Roode.
Sonya Deville.
Definitely. Shout out to the stud line. Daddy DeVille can call. No, never mind.
Huh?
No diddy.
Logan, who your stud crush?
Logan has been whisperer of sorts to those type of women. So yeah.
So who your stud crush?
I don't have one right now. Maybe the Brat. I don't know.
I would say that as well. I liked her before she started. Don't say
the Brat now or
the Brat now. The Brat is thick, nice and thick. What?
Yeah, I get some bread juice on me too.
I'm saying, look, give her all the powers of Grayskull.
I gotta. My stud crush is Zoe. Zoe Stark.
Zoe ain't a stud though. She's
don't
Yes, she
married.
is,
She
I don't
is
think.
married,
Yeah, I was
bro.
think she has a male partner.
bro. She got this. She got her
She
the
just
side
got.
of her haircut.
You a
She
damn
just
lie.
got
So does
features.
Bailey.
No, yeah, she's not. She's not.
No. But she got short hair.
Bro, she's not
Zoe,
And
that.
I'm pretty sure
Zoe
Bailey has
Stark-
extensions.
Zoe
No,
Stark
bro.
look like Gina from 40-Year-Old Virgin. She definitely likes women. Okay, I don't care what y'all
Who?
talking. Zoe Stark. She look like
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She's
She like
a
Mo
stud.
Collins.
She could totally be bi, but she's not a stud. She has a man. She married.
To a chick, yes.
No, she's
Duh.
not to a man, to a heterosexual man. Like,
Bro, we not talking about nobody religion, bro. Cut that out.
I'm not talking.
Exactly.
You just said hetero.
I
Bro,
said
stop.
heterosexual male.
Stop bringing up people religion, bro.
I
Like
don't
now you
care-
doing
I don't
now you
care
going
who
too far.
Zoe Stark
All
pray
right,
to. She
all
like
right,
women.
all right. See, and that's what I'm
Anyways,
saying. Like women, she's probably bisexual if that's what y'all want.
Yeah, she's in a long-term relationship with some dude named Thomas Howard.
Thomas Howard.
that's her name. Yeah.
This guy. All right.
That's her wingman name at the club. She'll never let
Like,
black
bro.
women know.
Yeah.
Thomas Howard is her alias name.
Right.
Her-
Like,
she's Italian. Her name's Teresa Serrano.
Oh, that's
Who,
bro, that's why she got
That's
bro.
Zoe Stark's real name, Teresa Serrano. Sounds like it's
Really?
Italian. Yeah.
Bro, that's why
yeah.
she got the side of her hair shaved and she got the short blonde haircut, bro. It's in the hair.
I
Zoe
can't
can get
deal
it.
with this right now.
Zoe can get it.
I
Okay.
cannot.
We're getting ready to end the show. I mean, it's just been a while since it's been the four of us on here.
No, I'm talking about him stuck on this.
And you have to tell us your crush, sir. You have not told us yours.
Who?
Sir Philip. Yes. Wise
I
man.
didn't say mine. I said Zoe.
He said Zoe. Will said Zoe. So
I said Zoe. Will said Sonya Deville.
I said Sonya
oh,
Deville.
No,
and-
I
and
said
KG
Sonya Deville.
KG said Sonya Deville.
We said Sonya.
And he agreed. You know what?
I'll give her.
Oh man.
I thought Phil was gonna say Shayna, but okay.
Stunt
She don't have no
double.
eyebrows.
Even Junior got a laugh over that.
What the fuck is funny? Like, I like my stud to have eyebrows. Like,
So you've been watching the Drewski show.
hey, I can't front, bro. Like, I got it. Some of them studs is bad.
Yeah.
Some of them
Is Tyler,
studs is dope.
y'all probably don't know Shorty, but is Tyler McKenzie, was she just on there or is she truly like gay?
I don't know.
I think she was.
But, bro,
I'll
If
send
I'm
you
at-
that group chat when we finish.
if I'm messing with a chick or a stud, like, I need to be able to acknowledge your expression by your eyebrows. And Shayna just don't have none, bro.
Just tell you that Ace.
I just bro. She don't have no, like. Yeah, I need to see. I need some eyebrows. I need some eye hair. Don't you thumbs down me, KG?
I didn't do no thumbs down.
It was
Yeah.
a thumbs down that just popped up.
It did not.
I don't know.
Now-
Like, if I
Ooh,
want to
what the hell,
surprise her
honestly.
for her birthday and I don't know if she
Oh,
excited,
what
I'm
was
feel a
it?
little upset. I put myself through all that.
It was a bubble that did a thumbs down.
I didn't do that though.
That was probably one of the viewers, if you saw that.
Oh, okay.
What you say?
I didn't know that was even possible.
I didn't know either, unless he's making that up. But yeah.
I definitely saw something flash in the background.
That somebody gave you a thumbs down.
Right, because they know you hating on studs, KG.
They gave you the thumbs down, not him.
No, they gave KG the thumbs down. How you gonna tell me?
Oh.
It was on my screen.
It might have been
Oh,
about
on your
the
screen?
eyebrows thing. I don't know. Somebody.
Well, KG
that
didn't
got-
say
somebody
it.
don't got
He
eyebrows,
said it.
probably-
It ain't see, like, I get it if you can razor blade your shit thin. I get that, but she just don't have none. You can't tell if she's look. You see, look. See, I look surprised. Take all this off. You just see skin flapping. Pause.
Hey man, hey. On that note, People, I want to thank y'all for watching Hot Take Wrestling. Like, share, and subscribe. Please tell a friend to check us out. We are on Wednesdays at 9:30 p.m. Sometimes we on Thursdays when the brothers can't, make it on Wednesday. So I do thank you guys for coming and checking us out. You can always check us at the following social media handles. Boom, here it is. TikTok at Hot Take Wrestling, Instagram at Hot Take Wrestling, Twitter, as Chris Jericho used to say, at Wrestling Take, Twitch, we are at Hot Take Wrestling Podcast. And as you always can see us, it's on NMG TV. It says NMGT Network, but it's NMG TV on YouTube. All righty. Now, let's go ahead and get these outros out. KG, we're going to start with you, brother KMG.
Peace, love, and soul.
All right, short and sweet to the point. I hear you. King in a black robe. You got to tell the people what's going on with you, when they can expect some more high takes, and when you're going to be back all the way, brother.
That's no problem. That's why I'm glad you brought everything to me with that. So as I mentioned shortly, I've been dealing with some issues with movement because of my little, I'm going to call it a fight with sciatica that I've been dealing with from a work injury from 2 years ago. It kind of comes and goes, but as of February, it's been kind of constant. It's been affecting a lot of stuff. Like a lot of stuff. It's affecting a lot of stuff getting done. But the good news about fighting, somebody got to lose, and I'm not a loser. So with that being said, I'll be able to sit more, which will maybe make me produce more content as far as like high tech and stuff, because of course ain't nothing stopping me watching wrestling. And it's a lot of stuff that I've been catching, a lot of stuff that I've seen that I gotta share with y'all. But for one thing y'all know, if it's something to talk about, we gonna talk it. And on that note, as always, I'm happy to be able to be here with my brothers and talk about wrestling and things of that nature. And until we do it again, we signing off.
All right. Before I let the wise man do his thing, I just want to tell y'all, make sure y'all follow me at that name right there on all social media platforms, Old Man Logan. And I thank y'all for y'all time, man, for sitting down with us on this Wednesday and talking shop, talking wrestling. All right, wise man, the floor is yours. Have at it, kind sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Phil Myers Sr., aka Can't Knock It, the Great One, No Chill with Phil, the voice of violence, the practicing polygamist, Eminem, the Minister of Madness and Mayhem, MM99, Captain Medium Meat, and you can't teach that. Follow me on any and all social media platforms. The two-time child support slayer in the greater state of Illinois. The child support recipient is right there playing 2K25 from my child support money that I sent. Shit, how you think you got it? Shit, you thought I paid for it? Shit, you better cash that check. Follow me on any and all social media platforms. Can't knock it. The Great One, No Chill with Phil. Yeah, man, we out here. Exotica next month is coming up. We will be in the building. C2E2, same weekend, same day. We will be in the building. Yeah, man, hot take. We out here. We doing big things. Got some content coming out. Ladies, and ladies only, please just know my couch pulls out. I don't. And I want to address that. You can fake moan if you want to. I'll nut in you. And then let's see you fake moan in that delivery room.
On that note, we up out of this thing, man. Thank y'all for
Face
tuning
KG, you've heard smut before. Fix your face.
in. In the words of Russell Simmons, thank y'all for coming out. God bless you and good night.
Adios.